Hey, welcome into Sports with Balls. I'm Jeff Michael. We are about 4 minutes behind, but who cares? We're still going to give you an hour worth of unscripted, incredible sports, man. Welcome into Sports with Balls. We are live here at Christian's Tailgate in the Heights for episode number 207. Wow. It's going to be a fun one, too. Dan Green, comedian Dan Green from Los Angeles, will join us here in a little bit. In fact, in a few minutes. Cannot wait to get him on the phone. We'll ask. I'm going to ask him some questions about some players got suspended today in the NFL. And, of course, we're in Houston where Dan is from, so we'll get into some Houston. I think Taylor Swift is here this weekend, and, man, I don't know what is bigger. Like sport, like the Final Four that was here in Houston or Taylor Swift. Like, this is nuts. Like, it's wild. Jason, our producer, joins me today. Lauren is off. She'll be back next week for our special on Thursday. Cannot wait for that. What's up, Jason?
What's up? I'm on the mic now.
Yeah, we got Jason on the microphone. Cannot wait. We'll get into some sports with Jason in a little bit. But like I said, we are here at Christian's Tailgates in the Heights. They have 5 different locations in Houston. Call, order your food. Get your drinks, man. They got incredible drink specials all day, every day. I think today's 75-cent oysters as well.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Are you an oyster guy?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm not, man.
Charred and raw.
Charred and raw.
I'll do them either way.
Oh man, somebody's got to place a bet in order for me to eat one. The texture gets me. It's
just swallow it.
Yeah.
Oh, we should have waited till the comedian comes on.
Yeah, well, I'm sure Dan, who's probably swiftly paying attention right now, we'll talk to him in a little bit, see if he likes oysters, how that all goes down. I'm not an oyster guy.
Yeah, to me, it's more about putting the hot sauce, the horseradish, and
the cracker,
everything on it. Yeah, I do the cracker. I can just do it straight up.
Yeah, 75-cent oysters here at Christian's Tailgate today. They got drink specials all day, every day. So get your butt up here, get some food and drinks. We'll be here for the next hour. Like I said, Lauren Leal has the day off. You are blessed with me, Jeff Michael, for a solid hour. And like I said, Dan will join us here in a little bit. Lots and lots and lots to go over. Breaking news in the NFL came a little bit ago. 4 players suspended for gambling. And it's interesting how this is happening, right? So you would have thought these players would have learned from the wide receiver from the Atlanta Falcons, who was just suspended for a year. He had to file for reinstatement. Obviously, he's back in the league now. But these guys just obviously did not learn their lesson. 4 guys suspended today. I'm sorry, 5 players suspended. Wide receiver from the Lions, Jameson Williams. Violations of NFL gambling. Lions CJ Moore as well as Quentin Cephas. Look, if you're a Lions fan, ouch. Those guys were producers. That's going to hurt. Commander Shaka Toney are suspended indefinitely, at least 1 year. Williams and Detroit's Stanley Berryhill are suspended for 6 games. This to me is very interesting. They got suspended. Now, we're kind of getting into this, but the NFL already investigated the violations of the gambling policy by the 5 players. And they found evidence that inside information was used. Well, I'm sorry. They found no evidence that inside information was used on any NFL games were not compromised, and all violations occurred during the 2022 season. Now, it just seems like, I guess what they did was gambled on the premises of the Lions facility, right? So that's illegal.
Okay. I was about to say, don't they have a football, like, doesn't Raiders play in Vegas?
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
come on. You're not going to tell me that a player's not pulling some bets down?
The gambling thing has been a big, big issue, right? And we all know that Pete Rose is suspended from baseball indefinitely and kicked out of baseball basically for gambling way back now. But gambling is now such a huge part of all of these teams, man, and all major sports.
All sports. I mean,
I gamble daily.
When you see FanDuel.
And I'm in a state that doesn't allow it.
Yeah. Exactly. I think gambling is a part of sports. It's always been there. It's always going to be there. Look, I understand the whole baseball thing. You had the what was it? The
steroids?
No. Because of the Black Sox.
Oh yeah,
and how that almost just ruined the entire game, where everybody's like, "Oh, the whole thing's fixed. This thing's going to go." So I understand why organizations want to get in there and not have the taintedness of sports gambling. But I'm looking at this as like, hey man, I think were they gambling on themselves?
No. So I mean, the information is just now starting to come out about what was happening, what they gambled on, how the proceedings went. Because I mean, this is big. This is huge. To let's see.
These guys are on such good money that I mean, come on. I don't think it's going to be a situation where
3 of them are suspended indefinitely. They'll have to apply for reinstatement next year.
Okay.
Right. So they're out for the year. That would be Quentin Cephas, CJ Moore, and Shaka Tony. Let's see through at least the conclusion of 2023 season for betting on NFL games. Wow. All right. So they bet on NFL games. I'm sorry. That's dumb. You're an idiot. What?
Yeah.
Are you? First of all, I get it. Gambling's an addiction. I gamble a lot. I'm pretty good at it. I like to do it. It's fun. I also don't have the money these guys have or the jobs that they have that would allow me to not gamble. Like, I don't want to say not gamble because it's not a source of income for me. It's just fun. But these guys would like. Why are you betting on NFL games? You have a ton of money. You play the sport.
Right.
Like, I don't get it. But
I mean, I could see where if you're gambling on your team or something like that, okay, then it's like, okay, there's conflict of interest there. But if you're gambling on another team or something, or is it a situation where they might know some, you know, how do you said insider knowledge?
Yeah.
Oh, hey, former teammate, a good buddy of mine's on that team, but he's a little bit hurt. Oh, I don't think they're going to do so well. So, all right, I'm going to put
they
some money
say
on the
that
other
no
team.
inside information was like they didn't have any. You know, it's funny. I wonder if they won. Right? Did they win? Like, you know, is that how this is going down? I don't know, but
yeah, I would have to know the extent of what
it looks like
exactly what they were gambling on. I mean,
5 players suspended.
I agree with you. It's dumb. Don't do that. You're already making a bunch of money. Gamble on baseball. Gamble on whatever. There's plenty of other things that you can gamble on. But
Yep.
yeah,
I mean, just absolutely, I would say moronic. As I get in more information as we go about the day and into the weekend, get back on here and try to give you guys more info. But right now, five players suspended from the NFL for gambling. 3 of them indefinite for reinstatement next year. 2 of them 6-game suspensions. I don't know. I haven't gotten it all out yet. Why only 2 got 6 games? Did they? I would assume that betting and gambling is right.
They might have lost.
Is what? Did they lose? Did they use inside information? Like, I don't know, man. Very, very iffy right now with what's going on with that. But like I said, that is breaking news out of the NFL. All right, guys, we'll move on to a little bit more. The NBA playoffs have started. I'm trying to get my internet connection back up right now. It is not working with me today. Absolutely hate it, but I'll get it back up in a minute. And comedian Dan Green will join us in about 3 minutes. I hate this that the internet's not working, but I'll have to use my phone. It is what it is. I'll get Dan Green up here in a minute, but NBA playoffs, we had some interesting stuff happen last night. More wannabe Draymond Greens, I guess. Is that the way you want to put that? All right. And you had look, before we get into that, I'll ask Dan that in a second. But you had a soccer game that was really interesting happen today.
Oh, yeah. So I'm a big fan of the English Premier League. I'm originally from the UK. And right now, you know how you said it's kind of the doldrums for you in terms of sports?
Yeah.
Of how football's over, baseball's just kind of started up and everything. Well, in the UK, in the soccer league, which is one of the most watched leagues in the world, there's a massive title race, and it's a very close situation. And one of the teams that is on top of the league right now, they almost lost to the team that's in the bottom of the league. They were down, and they ended up coming back and tying the game.
Who is this? What are the teams?
It was Arsenal and versus Brent versus wait, who did they play? They played Southampton. Yeah, Arsenal. So Arsenal's famous. They're a very big London club. And right now, they're kind of known for, in the past few seasons, for choking. And right now, they're at the top. And everybody's like, oh, they're going to choke again. So it was a very important game. And it was actually quite interesting to see him come back. And it's just straight up drama over there. One of these days, I'm going to teach you all about it, Jeff.
Jessica, thank you for joining the show. Jessica O'Connor. She's like bowling. I don't know if we have any bowling news today. Do you bowl?
I used to be in the league.
What?
Back in the day, I was a 200 average.
Were you really?
Yeah.
That is solid. I love bowling. I haven't been in a while, but like bowling and drinking are hand in hand. I think. I think it's easier to bowl and drink than it is to golf and drink.
Well, yeah, we always just joked around. We're a drinking team with a bowling problem.
There you go. Yeah, that's the way it is. Speaking of drinking and having a good time, let's bring in comedian Dan Green straight from Los Angeles. My man Dan, what's up, man? Live with Dan Green.
G'day, Jeff. How's it going, mate?
Solid, my man. Solid. How are you? I know you're coming in town this weekend. I know you. I'm sorry, next weekend, because look, I know you scheduled it around this. That Taylor Swift is here this weekend and blowing Houston apart. They even had to move my daughter's softball game because of this. Absolutely insane. But you planned yours around Taylor Swift, so you'll be in town next weekend with a whole show. What do you have going on?
Yeah, I deliberately did that. That's exactly what I did, mate, was plan myself around Taylor Swift. God damn. But, yeah. Dude, she just broke up. She just broke up with a boyfriend, and the official reason they gave was
a whole new album.
differences in personalities. That's how every relationship breaks up, mate. You don't like the person you're in the house with. I hate you. I'm out. That's how it works.
Very true. Very true.
She'll write a whole album about that. A whole album, that's for sure, man.
Pretty sure that's how my last relationship ended. But whatever, we'll move on past that. You've got a couple of comedians coming into Houston, Texas next weekend to join you at a venue, man. What's going on? Who are you bringing?
Mate, we are the complete opposite of the Taylor Swift show. I'm coming out there every 6 months. I fly two high-quality LA comics out to Houston with me, and we put on a huge comedy weekend at Darwin's Pub. And this time I'm bringing out a guy named Johnny Mitchell, who's a former marijuana drug dealer for the cartels, for the Sinaloa cartels. God. Did a couple of years in prison, got out and became a comic, and now he talks about it on stage. He has a very successful YouTube channel called The Connect. It's like 325 million views since September. Yeah, he's coming out with us. Yeah, exactly. Dude. He's crushing YouTube right now.
Wow.
So
I need to figure out exactly how he's doing that.
Yeah, I've got Johnny Mitchell out. Yeah, he told people how to deal drugs. That's how he did it. He told people how to deal drugs on the internet. I don't know how the hell he hadn't been arrested. I got no idea. I can
sit here and talk sports. Look, it's funny. Like, I can sit here and talk sports, and look, we do very well on the show, and I absolutely love it. But I don't get 325 million. My son opened up a YouTube channel, and he's got almost as many subscribers as I do in like a month, and all he has is talking stuffed animals, man. So sports, stuffed animals, drug dealing, whatever.
And the other spectrum of my show, I'm bringing out a guy named Mike Ishak, who's a former United States Marine whose family's originally from Yemen. So that guy has a complete sense of humor. He was a Yemeni Marine with the United States military. Now he's a comic. He's touring all over the country. He's fantastic. And I just booked a very up-and-coming Houston comic, Jeff Joe. And Jeff Joe is opening for Russell Peters at Joe Rogan's Comedy Mothership this weekend in Austin. But next weekend, he'll be at Darwin's Pub with us. So, yeah, myself, Johnny Mitchell, Mike Ishak, and Jeff Joe. It's going to be a blast, man. I can't wait.
You got a guy that used to deal drugs and a guy that used to bust guys that deal drugs. So that should be a lot of fun between those two. And then there's you, of course, the headliner, Dan Green, joining Sports with Balls right now, straight from Los Angeles. Thank you for joining the show again. Let's get into a little bit of sports. The draft is next week, right? And I know you follow Houston sports a little bit. You were here for a long time, and the Texans had the number 2 pick in the draft. There's been speculation they were going to look. Bryce Young was going to be number 2. C.J. Stroud was going number 1. Now it's kind of reverted to Bryce Young is now going to be the number 1 pick with Carolina, who traded up to get them. And now it's like the Texans may not even take a quarterback. Have you paid attention to a quarterback?
I've got my money on that. I've got my money on Cal McNair figuring out how to screw the pooch as best as he can on this one, mate. I have no faith in Cal. I'm a Texans fan, but I have no faith in Cal McNair, mate. I see us probably picking a corner or a safety. I don't even know who's available for corners or safety, but that's the kind of Texan thing that we would do. Instead
Will
of picking
Anderson.
And we'll take some quarterback in the 5th round that I don't know, D'Amico Ryans went to school with or something like that, they'll be like, you know what, we like this guy. Yeah, I went to school with his dad. He'll be all right. And they'll put the franchise on the back of that poor bloke.
Well, look, I like the look. I think that they're trying to change the culture a little bit. D'Amico Ryans was a great hire for the Houston Texans, but this is a huge pick, and they have another pick at 13 where a quarterback could be available. The draft is being really shaken up. I saw a mock draft today by a really, really well-known guy that does these things. It has the Texans trading out of the 2 spot.
Oh,
and that
100%. Can I be on board? Can I shift I didn't realize I could trade the pick away. Oh yeah, 100,000% we're doing that. We'll trade down to 22, and then we'll miss the guy we wanted at 22, and we'll end up fucking taking that corner. So that's what's going to happen, mate. Is I tell you, the best thing that's ever happened to the Houston Texans is the recent success of the Houston Astros, because when the Astros were horrible as well, and I went to those games where you could trade in a Powerade wrapper to sit in the outer. I was there, and I was there for those games. Yep. Okay, right.
Remember,
back in those days,
I think you've come on the show before. You had you got coupons with your drink, right? Remember, you go to the store.
Yeah,
didn't you say that?
You got everything. Yeah, you go to bars and they give you free Astros tickets. It was insane. So back in those days, there was mutual hatred of both franchises. Okay, it was pushed aside. Everybody copped a dose. Well, now the Astros are good. Everybody's in a good mood. So there's less hate towards the Texans. They can screw up some stuff occasionally, but I tell you what, if they screw this up, there's going to be some serious trouble.
Yeah, I saw a mock draft had the Houston Texans trading out of the number 2 spot, which, look, there's 2 or 3 incredible defensive guys available. There's 2 or 3 quarterbacks that some people say are franchise quarterbacks. It's going to be interesting next week. It's all live.
I'm going to make a bold call. I'm going to make a bold call right now, man. I'm going to say we trade that pick inside the division as well.
Inside the division?
Inside the division.
Look, give it to the Jaguars, who are up and coming and playing very well.
Yep.
Right?
We trade that to the Jags for four second rounders in 2028. That's what's going to happen, dude. That'd be the kind of setup we get out of that.
Look, a minute ago, we were talking about this breaking news that happened earlier this afternoon where 5 NFL guys were suspended for gambling, and it looks like they were gambling on the premise of their respected teams, the Washington Commanders and the Detroit Lions. It looks like a few guys from both teams were involved in this. Do you think that a player should be allowed to gamble?
No.
On their respective sport? Or should they be able to gamble in other sports they're not even a part of?
It just depends on. It gets to the point now where when you're allowed to leverage bets on other sports, that's when I'm having met organized crime people before and knowing how their brains work. As soon as you manipulate an athlete with a gambling problem, then you can manipulate that guy to do anything. And I think it leaves the door open for those guys to get into some serious trouble, and then you start. So, then organized crime starts manipulating sports, which it probably already is anyway.
Yeah. Kevin Anthony says, let's hear, why did they get a year like Ridley? Look, Kevin, 3 of them did. 3 of those guys are suspended indefinitely, which means the year they will have to they will have to ask for reinstatement next year. 2 of the guys only got 6 games. I don't know at this moment. I don't know the difference. I don't know why.
The difference is they're betting on the lines, dude. They're betting on the lines. Who really gives? They're betting on the lines. Come on. What do you reckon? Betting on whether Jared Goff's going to throw 3 interceptions a game or 2 interceptions a game?
Dan, where can people find you, man? On social media.
You can find. You know what? They can find me on Instagram at Dan Green Comedy. They can find me on Facebook at Dan Green. They can find me on YouTube at Dan Green Comedy. And next weekend, they can find me at Darwin's Pub with Mike Ishak, Johnny Mitchell, and Jeff Joe. And if they go to eventbrite.com, they can get their tickets right there if they search for Dan Green and Friends. There's still plenty of good seats available. We're going to put 100 people in the room and turn Darwin's into a proper comedy club for the night.
I will tell you, man, tomorrow's my birthday, but I got the kids this weekend. I want to do something with them for my birthday, so that's going to be a lot of fun. But I do plan on celebrating my birthday Friday night at Darwin's Pub with you guys from LA, man.
Hell yeah, man! It's going to be a good one. The drinks are cheap. It's Darwin's. There's no There's no fees for parking. I mean, it's just like going to your local dive bar and watching comedy. It's the best thing you could possibly do.
Can't wait, Dan. Cannot wait. Look, thanks for joining the show as always. Hopefully, we'll get you back on the show when you get here to Houston next week, man. Good luck to you and Darwin's Pub next weekend. Comedian Dan Green live with friends, man. We'll see you then, my man.
H-Town, see you next week, mate. H-Town, see you next week.
There you go, man. Bam. Always great to have him on, dude. He is a funny guy. I can't wait to go see him next week, man. Look, we're coming to you live from Christian's Tailgate right here in the Heights. There's 4 other locations around Houston. Please get over there, get a drink, watch the respected games, whichever one suits your fancy. They got about 100 TVs in every single one of these things. It is an absolute blast to be here. Also want to give a shout out to Diamond Auto Spa, Austin Bauer over there. It's an elite detailing company that offers only the best quality work and customer service. They specialize in detailing, paint correction, ceramic coatings, paint protection film, vinyl wraps, and window tinting. We don't cut.
Hit them up.
Yeah, do it, man. We don't cut customers. We detail them. Diamond Auto Spa, Austin Bauer over there. Good stuff from him, man. Wow, what a great first segment of the show. That guy's great, man. Absolutely love Dan. Can't wait to see him next week. It's going to be a blast. But I was shocked to hear his answer on gambling in sports. Right? He said just no, not allowed. It's just so prevalent now. I'm in a state, I told you earlier, I'm in a state that doesn't allow gambling in Texas. I think that I have 5 bookies. Like there's and you can get on Twitter and go to any you can go to, they have thousands of gambling sites on there.
Yeah.
Thousands, man. It's so easy. It's interesting how, and now you have books at venues. Chicago Cubs. There's an open book in their park, right? You have a team in Vegas, right? I mean, it's just gambling is a massive part of this industry.
Not to bring it back to soccer, but they do live odds during the commercial break.
Yeah, dude.
During the halftime, it's like
and
this player to score next.
I didn't know this, but they just now started doing live. Okay, so you can bet at these books at the venues, at these certain sporting venues, but I didn't know that they shut them down while the game's going live. But now they started opening up a few of them where you can do it live betting. That is interesting. It's just the money. Have you seen the patches on these MLB teams, right? So we're in Houston, right?
Yeah.
So they have one that says Oxy. It's huge, man. I mean, it's bigger than the Astros logo. It's on the
and money, they paid good money for that spot right there.
And the money that gambling is bringing into these sports is ridiculous. Now, I don't know how athletes get into gambling. Look, most people, 95% of the people gamble to make money. Right, you're trying to make extra money. These guys don't need extra money.
No, they don't.
How much are they putting down? Like, I would be remiss.
I mean, you saw the stories about Jordan and
but he was able to pay it. I wonder if some of these people are putting, like, how much money did these 5 guys put down? Right, because if you're going to gamble in sports, like we saw what's his name last year who got Ridley. He gets suspended for the Falcons for a year. He didn't bet that much. Why not? If you're going to bet,
go big,
50 grand down. But I guess that in turn would get you busted, right? If you're doing $1,000. But if you're doing $1,000 bet here, what the hell are you? $1,000 to use like a penny. Why are you just doing it for the addiction?
Yeah.
Like I don't get it. Those guys make so much money. But 3 guys suspended for a year.
I mainly bet to make neutral games more exciting.
Yeah, I do that too.
That's what
now.
I do.
Last night, this is funny. I was at my daughter's softball game. We won. And right before the game started, the coach was like, "So who do you got tonight?" and I go, he goes, "When I get home, I want something fun to watch." That's exactly what you're saying, right? So I said Mets and Padres. Sure enough, I wake up this morning. He was like, he bet the Mets and Padres in a parlay. He's like, "Man, thank you." So I was like, "Is my daughter leading off next game?" No, I'm just kidding. I didn't say that, but it'll be fun this weekend. Look, I mentioned earlier that Taylor Swift's in town. Unbelievable. They have turned the city upside down. There were people waiting at NRG, which is the stadium here in Houston, Texas, at 2 a.m. to buy merchandise yesterday morning.
Is it tonight?
Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Oh, she's doing a 3.
Yeah, man. And they renamed NRG Park for this girl. And there's Swifties, what they're called.
I think that's what I call.
Wow, it is. And I didn't know that she was still that big. I knew Taylor Swift was big, but I thought it was like 8-9 years ago, right, when she was popping.
I didn't realize she was playing NRG.
They're sold out like every night, and the tickets are unbelievable expensive. Yeah, my kids are like, "Are we going?" No, we'll go to the Space Cowboys and see that game for $20.
It's like, are we going? No, that's one semester of college for you guys. All right.
Oh man. Let's see. Chewy says athletes can put a good, what does it say? Good sizable amount of money, maybe 10 to 100 grand per se, while regular Joes can spend a few $100s each. Well, they can, but they can technically, but they wouldn't do that because that's how you get busted. You can't go like unless you have a private bookie, which I'm sure some of these guys do, right? I'm sure some of them have huge private bookies. But gambling, it flexes its ugly face again in sports, and it's just weird. Like I almost equate it to the marijuana thing, where marijuana use for the longest time was illegal. Now they don't even test for it in the NBA anymore. Zero, and they test for it in the NFL, but you don't get suspended, which is weird, right? Why test for it? Yeah, they just like slap on there like a fine. And look, I understand that most of the fines go to charity, and that's fine and whatever. But if you're not getting suspended for it, don't test for it. Yeah. The NBA has completely shut out testing for marijuana. So, do you think gambling will ever be legalized? Like the question I asked Dan, in for players in their own sport. I would have to say no. I don't know how do you put a cap on it. Yeah,
I don't see it because
you could shave.
Exactly. That's the whole. I saw that documentary about that.
Yeah, there's referees that are involved in it.
Yeah, I saw the referee one, and I also saw the player one from. I think it was a California school, or I can't remember.
There's a few instances where gambling has just sort of really took over a sport, and no bigger one than Pete Rose. And everybody knows that Pete Rose needs to be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
And he is not because
I think he should be, because whatever he did on the field, it's done. He put those numbers up on the field. There's no denying that.
Well, there's rumors that when you become commissioner of the MLB, it is in your statement, or in the statement you get, you are not allowed to reinstate Pete Rose. And that is an oath you take before you become commissioner of the MLB.
Wow.
And that is insane. Yeah, they will not. I mean, I think even the commissioners know that he needs to get in. And I think everybody wants to see Pete Rose get in the Hall of Fame before he passes away. And that's going to be sad when Pete Rose passes away and he never got to walk up on that stage with all of the other greats that he inspired, that he was better than. He was better than most of those guys, right? Charlie Hustle.
Yeah.
He'll never be able to do it.
And his was, he did bet on his team.
Yeah.
I think that was what's up.
Yep.
But I don't think he ever bet for them to lose, though.
Yeah, I'd have to look deep into it. I don't remember if he bet them to lose. But that would be real bad.
Yeah. But I also think that he just got caught up with the time of, if you think about the amount of money, if
that happened today, he's just suspended for 60 games.
Well, not only that, but in today, like the money that Pete Rose made in the 70s and the early 80s, right? So if a Pete Rose, how much money would that guy be on in today's market?
Oh, dude, you're looking at Ichiro, or not an Ohtani, but he's up there with he's up where with Altuve,
like,
right?
He's guaranteed, 9 figures, right?
Oh yeah.
So a player like that, but he just happened to be in during the 70s where
he's trying to make some extra cash.
He didn't. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Which I feel is just unfortunate, but I mean, he did what he did, and I get. Baseball had a problem with it before.
I believe that Pete Rose has been punished enough.
I do too.
So
it's how long has it been? 30 years?
Yeah, it's been a long time. Let the guy in the Hall of Fame before he passes away.
Yeah, let him in. I mean, just look at his numbers. He just.
I think they know that, but it's just the gambling thing. He got ex-nayed from baseball. Yeah. All right, guys, let's move back to the NFL, where I said earlier that the Carolina Panthers with number 1 were projected to take C.J. Stroud from Ohio State, but it looks like now Bryce Young canceled all of his, trips to other teams, where it looks like he's going number 1. Bryce Young going number 1. And I posed this question on social media the other day because Tua Tagovailoa came out and said that he contemplated retirement. We all saw him get flung to the ground a few times last year. The concussions he suffered, and it was like a 50-50 toss-up where people thought, hey, this guy needs to get out of the NFL. He's hurt. He's going to really endanger himself here in the future. And I got to think he's one hit away from that. Tua Tagovailoa is one hit away from it. Guess what? He's bigger than Bryce Young. Yeah. Bryce Young is 5'10", 190 pounds. As accurate as he is, as great as the guy may be, he gets hit 1 to 2. It's like if he gets thrown to the ground and suffers something similar to Tua Tagovailoa, you're going to, all these questions are going to be brought up like, like, can quarterbacks be that small? And I just don't think they can. This is a big league, man. These guys, they could throw him around with one hand, like probably throw him about 5 yards, right, like in the air. They're huge. They're absolutely enormous. And look, I'm not a Houston Texans fan. If I was, I would not want them to take Bryce Young. The concussions and him getting injured, being that small, that's going to be really tough. But it looks like he's heading to Carolina. So good luck there in Carolina, Bryce Young. And that puts that puts everything on the Houston Texans at number 2. And the decision for Lovie Smith to go for 2 points at the last game of regulation, or last game of the season last year for the Houston Texans, would put them in this position. They would have the number 1 pick if Lovie Smith didn't go for a 2-point conversion and get it. And so here we are. And check this out. The latest mock draft has the Houston Texans trading out the number 2 pick for Lamar Jackson. Wow.
What are your thoughts?
Butts in the seats. Good move, right? Like he's still young. You have the room to get him. You have the picks to trade for him. If DeMeco Ryans wants to make a splash, that's it. That's your splash. You're good. You're set. Now just go out and find some weapons for him. Get a good running back later on the draft. Hey, maybe if you don't get rid of 13, maybe you take Bijan Robinson right now, who's flying up the board. Who knows? But very interesting. The Texans could end up with Lamar Jackson. You live here in Houston. Are you a Texans fan?
Yes. My NFL team are the Texans.
Would you be okay with that? Yeah, right. Like that's it.
I
Like
don't know.
it's
It just,
wow.
Like you said, it's just you're giving up. It's like what other options you got? Like what?
Okay, your other option is drafting Will Anderson from Alabama.
Okay.
I mean, a badass dude, defensive end, or taking Jalen Carter from Georgia, an incredible tackle. Or there's an offensive lineman out of I forgot where. There's an offensive lineman you can take, or you look at the other quarterbacks, right? Will Levis, Richardson from Florida. You look at C.J. Stroud from Ohio State. But the thing is, with C.J. Stroud from Ohio State produces the top wide receivers in the NFL. It is well known that. So I'm not saying his numbers are skewed, but man, he's got some monsters at wide receiver. And the quarterbacks, Dwayne Haskins, to mention one out of a few, have not worked out the NFL level.
Right.
Ohio State quarterbacks just, they haven't worked out, but the wide receivers have. So, is it the system? Is it the wide receivers that make the quarterback there? Who knows? But it just hasn't worked out. Now, if you're asking me if I take C.J. Stroud, Richardson, or Will Levis, or Lamar Jackson, I'm taking Lamar Jackson.
Right.
Right. Like, I mean,
Look, proven.
Yes. MVP. He did finally win his playoff game. Look, Baltimore hasn't surrounded him with a bunch of weapons. I think that Houston would be absolutely ecstatic to get him. I do. I think that you would have your offensive weapon. DeMeco Ryans is a defensive head coach. Let him come in here, do what he's got to do on the defense, and pound it away. So I think Houston's in a good spot, not a great spot. I think number 1 would have been better. But if you get Will Anderson or you get Lamar Jackson, I'm okay with either one of those. Now, if Houston goes with a quarterback, because there's great quarterbacks coming out next year, they can tank again and get a great quarterback next year, right? So I don't know, man. They have an interesting dilemma on their hands because technically they do have the picks and the room for Lamar Jackson. Interesting. And I don't think Lamar Jackson and Baltimore are coming to an agreement before the draft. So, and the only other team, look, the Colts could pull the trigger on Lamar Jackson too. They're sitting down there at number 4. The Arizona Cardinals, I don't think that they would trade for anybody, but they're number 3. I think the Cardinals will probably go defense.
What'd you say? Isn't there? No matter what it is, they're gonna pick the wrong choice.
Yeah, the Arizona Cardinals, man. Like they are the new Cleveland Browns. I don't know. They're terrible. Like and I'm talking about organization wise, like inside the organization, dude, they are a mess. They got like JJ Watt retired. Kyler Murray doesn't talk to his players. DeAndre Hopkins wants out. Their top cornerback wants to be traded. It is a mess over there in Arizona. And it starts, and they fired their head coach. Dude, Arizona's a mess. And then you got the Colts sitting at number 4. If Arizona picks Will Anderson, which I think Will Anderson will go top 4 somewhere. If Arizona picks number 4, Indianapolis is going to go with a quarterback. And based on their history, I think that they go with Will Levis. Fits their program. It fits what they're trying to do over there. That's where I think this is going to be one of the most interesting top 7 pick drafts I've seen in a very, very long time. You still have Aaron Rodgers out there. We don't know if he's going to be traded before, during, or after the draft to the
what's
Jets.
the news on that? I haven't heard anything.
No, Aaron is probably doing ayahuasca somewhere. Who knows? I have no idea. But it is a wild event. This draft will be next week, and we'll be here at Christian's Tailgate for an hour leading up to the draft. And look, we're all going to sit here and wait because the Texans are at number 2, right? And we're in Houston. So we'll do the show. And then 10 minutes after we get off air, we're going to know who Houston has. That is going to be wicked because I cannot wait to film. And this place will probably be really busy. Film the reaction of the crowd on when they say, then it goes, blah, blah, you know, and then it's like the Houston Texans select or they trade. There's a trade. And then it's like, oh, man. I think the first 20 minutes of the draft next week is going to be really exciting. Yeah. It'll be fun to watch. A lot of fun to watch. Is there a draft in soccer?
No.
You just pay players to come?
Yeah, well,
you just pick them. Hey, I'm
no,
going to give you $200 million.
Okay, so
you get over here.
In the MLS, they do. The MLS, the United States League, has a situation where they'll go with college players, and it'll be similar. But worldwide, essentially, teams have academies, youth academies that they essentially they scout out players and they bring them up, and then they essentially they integrate them into the first team if they're good enough, or they'll just sell them off, and then eventually, like a lot of the best players in the world are not playing for the team that what academy they started out with. They'll get to a certain point and they'll sell off.
There you go.
Yeah.
MLB, speaking of players that are being brought up, we saw that Max Scherzer suspended for 10 games for a sticky substance. This is a huge, huge ordeal in baseball, which I don't know why this guy's crying about it. You can use rosin and sweat to make a sticky substance. It's well known. The umps asked him to wipe it off. He went down there with an official from the MLB, and he didn't do a sufficient job of it. Went back out there. I'm glad they're cracking down on this. I really am. You can't have sticky stuff on all over your mitt. So there you go. Max Scherzer suspended and did not appeal. I thought that was interesting. It said he was going to, and then he pulled back, and he's not appealing. So Max Scherzer will miss 2, maybe 3 starts. I don't think it's a bad thing for him. He'll be well rested. On the other flip side of that, Madison Bumgarner got sent down to the minors and is getting paid $34 million to play in the minor leagues. Wow.
Sometimes you need that kick in the butt.
I don't know if he comes back up. The guy I loved him. He was amazing, but it looks like he may have kind of lost it a little bit.
Right.
And, it is what it is. As far as he's concerned, he had a great career.
Oh. You an Astros fan?
Massive Astros fan. Right. Massive Astros fan. I'm not going to get into the Astros right now. They're playing so. Went to the game the other night. It was fantastic. I love taking the kids there. Baseball games and kids are just absolutely phenomenal. Speaking of taking the kids to games, the Oakland Athletics, who I grew up loving with Mark McGuire, Jose Canseco, Ricky Henderson, that whole team, man.
Ricky Henderson.
Yeah, I loved that team. Look, Oakland lost the Raiders to Las Vegas, and now they're going to lose the A's. The A's have purchased land right down the street from where the Raiders play, and the Oakland A's will now be moving to Vegas, which I think is a great move. They don't support the team there anyways. And it's the most outdated stadium in MLB.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I've one of my best friends is actually a scout for the A's. I'll try to get him on the show.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Heck yeah, man. Because I would like to know Billy Beane, like, is he retiring? You know, everybody loves the movie Moneyball, right? So, and he's been with the A's for 20 plus years now, I think.
Yep.
Is he going to move to Vegas with them, or does he call it a day?
Yeah, I'll get him in.
I love this move. I think Vegas, this is insane. Vegas is becoming the sports like capital.
F1's going there this year.
Yeah, dude, it is. I have it sitting in here somewhere. I'm going to tell you all the events that are in Vegas over the past, like, I guess, year or so. Here you go. All right.
Have you seen that new stadium?
Yes, dude. It's phenomenal. In 10 years, this is what the Vegas has added. The Oakland A's now, the Aces, the Raiders, the Desert Dogs, the Golden Knights, a professional hockey team.
Oh, yep.
They've had the Pro Bowl, the Super Bowl, the NFL Draft, the Final Four, Formula One Grand Prix, and the College Football National Championship.
And you know who's
man.
You know what else they're gonna get?
What?
MLS team.
There you go.
The owners of my favorite team have purchased the name Vegas Villains.
Woo! Oh, I like that.
Because we're Aston Villa and our nickname are the Villains.
Do you keep, speaking of names, do you keep the A's? I kind of like Aces, A's. Do you keep Oakland? Do you keep Vegas A's? I like the Vegas Villains. That's a good name. Sounds more like a XFL team or like you said, yeah. But it's catchy.
Yeah. Our owners is the same owners as the Milwaukee Bucks.
There you go.
Wes Edens owns our teams, and they're looking to buy the MLS team.
I like the move.
I think the A's should keep the A's name, kind of like the Dodgers when they went to LA.
Well, I mean the Raiders,
the Giants. You know,
yeah, the Giants kept theirs. They've been back and forth.
I think
the Browns.
Yeah, I think you keep the name for the most part, in which, I mean,
well, I guess like the Oilers, they moved and they became the Tennessee Titans.
Yeah, which I get it because it's like that aspect. But then again, look at the Lakers. They were the Minneapolis Lakers because of all the lakes.
Yeah,
but they just kept it, so it's
fits the LA Lakers.
The Utah. What was that? The basketball joke where it's like the New Orleans Jazz went to Utah where they don't allow music.
Yeah. Wow, that's true. That is true. But the Oakland A's signed a binding agreement to build a $1.5 billion stadium in Las Vegas. So it will be the Vegas A's. And it sucks being in sports and having to, like, every year I've got to scramble up names. Like Washington, I don't even know what they call now. I have no clue.
Commander.
Yeah, it's the Commanders, but they just got sold, so I don't know if they're going to change the name again.
Oh, it's every time I go to work and we're playing what I call the Indians. What's the Guardians now?
Like the Guardians. Yeah.
I'm just like, every time I go into work and I know we're playing Cleveland, I always say the Indians, and I'm just like,
the name changes and location changes are in full effect, and we'll probably see more. It's just the way that things are now. It's all money driven.
It is.
Oakland's not giving the A's $1.5 billion stadium. So
yeah,
Vegas is.
Exactly.
There you go.
And I mean, Oakland lost Golden State, like the Warriors. They went over to San Francisco.
There you go. Yep. Speaking of money and being sold, we saw that Washington was sold for $6 billion. Last year, the Broncos were sold for $4.6 billion. Carolina, $2.2 billion on down the list. And then it just gets into the $100 millions. But all these franchises, a lot of like the Minnesota Vikings, right? They were bought for $600 million. You could sell them for easy $3-4 billion now. Like it's, I don't know where this caps off at, but man, it's great business to be in, man. Sports entertainment. I'm glad I'm in it. The draft is next week while we were talking about the NFL draft, but we'll stick on with a little bit of baseball news that came out yesterday. Shohei Ohtani could be traded and will definitely leave the Angels if they fall out of playoff contention. It was funny because I just put something up on social media. Being an Astros fan, I was like, all right, yeah, what if, right? What if? And everybody's like laughing, they're like, yeah, right. But I mean, Astros do need a little bit of pitching, I would think. We'll see when McCullers comes back, how they end up. But immediately,
I'm not sold on McCullers.
It came out that the three teams that would get Ohtani are the three teams that you would only
Let me guess. Hold on.
Yes.
I'm gonna guess a team that starts with New York
Yeah.
and then ends with the Yankees.
Yep. That's
I'm gonna
one.
guess a team that starts with Boston, ends with Red Sox.
Well, no, the Red Sox weren't in there.
Ooh,
No.
Okay, all right. The Los Angeles Dodgers.
Bam. There's another one. Then the other one.
And the other one, the Mets.
There. Bam. There you go.
Yeah.
Those are the three men. They were like, they're gonna end up. I'm like, you got to be kidding me, man.
And that's
Like-
that's just off the top of my head.
Wow. Yeah, and you don't look like we know that soccer is your number one sport, and you don't follow this, as intently as like some people do. And you already know where he's going.
No, exactly. I mean,
I guess baseball would love that. He's a big market guy,
he's massive,
right? So New York or LA would make sense.
Well, speaking of, like, I cannot stand how New York and LA get so much play because of just the sheer size of it. Oh, it's a big market. Yeah, but you know what? A lot of people in those markets, they're not from that city, all right? They moved there.
Yes.
So come on. It's like, yeah, you've got eyeballs on there, but you know what? It's I don't know. I always hate like big city teams and stuff. It always annoys me because it's like, oh yeah, of course they're gonna get the eyeballs. Of course they're gonna get the TV spots. They're gonna get this and that. And
Yep.
it's like, and especially being from like living in Houston, how we got disrespected for so long. It took the Astros how long to finally get some national coverage, some respect. But anyways, I see. Yeah, I can kind of see somebody like Shohei going to
LA or New York. Look, I think I think the MLB wants that too. Major League Baseball probably wants him to be in one of those big markets, because he's going to be on national television all the time. And he's not staying in.
You can see him at the Dodgers because that means he doesn't have to pick up or go anywhere really. Like
down the street, which is so weird, right? Because I'm like thinking about big market teams, and the Angels aren't a big market team, even though they share the city with one of the biggest market teams.
Yeah,
just weird, right?
Yeah,
but yeah, I can see him. He doesn't have to move. He has his friends and everything there. He just changes colors. Probably stays in the same house.
Did you know that the Angel Stadium is actually one of the oldest stadiums in Major League Baseball?
Angels?
Yep.
Dodger Stadium's not that good either, man. They all need upgrades. Dodger Stadium's just kind of, I guess, historic. Sort of like the Rose Bowl, right? Like just historic stadium.
Yeah.
So they keep it there.
Yeah, I looked that up, or somebody told me that the other day. It's like the oldest stadiums in baseball. Do you know what they are? The top 5 oldest stadiums?
No. Do you have them?
I can rattle them off.
Let's go. I'm ready.
Okay.
Angels are one. Hold on. Let me guess.
Yeah.
Angels in Oakland. Is Oakland in the top 5?
I don't think so.
Let's go with Kansas City.
Yes.
All right. St. Louis?
No. They have a new one, remember?
Oh, did they? Okay, sorry.
Boston.
Boston, Chicago.
Yeah.
All right, so I got 3. What are they? 4.
Yeah, and I think that Oakland was the other one.
There you go. Yeah. All right, before we get out of here, a couple of other things that happen in sports, will be happening in sports tomorrow night. My birthday, I believe I'm going to order this fight. It's been a while since I ordered a fight, but Gervonta Tank Davis fights tomorrow night against Garcia in one of the best. I cannot wait for this boxing matchup. Both guys absolutely undefeated, and they have been talking massive trash. Ryan Garcia, Gervonta Davis tomorrow night, going to be huge. This is going to be a fantastic boxing match. I hope, right? Like, you can never tell how these things work out. But look, Ryan Garcia went down to 136, I think. He usually fights at 140, 145, so he's a little lighter. He's already quick, but I like Tank Davis in this fight. He's got incredible skills at the body. He can knock you out, sort of like Mayweather can with a body shot, like back in the beginning Mayweather days. Roy Jones Jr.-ish, where just can land a body shot and you're just down. Ryan Garcia's quick, though. This is a great. I'm glad that boxing is having this, right? Because you see these UFC fights that really move the needle.
Yeah.
This is going to be a moving needle boxing match, and you need that. Boxing doesn't have a lot of these.
No, they boxing needs some more people. They need some more. Yeah, like you said, some big fights.
Yeah, and this is the big one. This is
Yep.
huge. I will probably drop the $100 in order this fight. I don't want to like the kids will probably watch it with me. My son loves boxing. I do a boxing show with Lou Savarese every now and then, so it'll be a lot of fun. We'll get into that, and on Thursday we'll go over that fight for sure next week, and hopefully I'll have a show on Monday. Let you guys know later about that.
Are you a fan of UFC too?
Yeah, I'll watch it. Big fights, right? Like the marquee people, but like I don't keep up with the
I
guys
enjoy
that
it
aren't.
all. I enjoy. I was always a boxing guy over UFC, but then all of a sudden it switched. I guess it was just because I started getting to know the UFC fighters, and I started losing out because all the boxers that I liked started just retiring. You know, because so you need that new crop. Like you said, tomorrow.
Yep. Let's see. Another thing that happened this week, which I absolutely hate, is Tiger Woods had another surgery this weekend. And I feel like my childhood is like coming to an end. Like I do. And I watched Tiger through his whole career. He was one of my favorite, almost like Jordanish, man. It was unbelievable watching Tiger Woods. And I just feel like I never thought that this day would be coming, but I feel like Tiger's done. And I almost feel like the PGA Tour kind of needs to move forward. Like it's been hanging on to Tiger for long enough.
Yeah.
It's hard to watch him walk, man. It is. And it's just him laboring around the course. That's not fun. I don't, and then he has to have surgery, like a bone sticking out somebody's head. I'm like, oh my gosh, dude. Like, I hate it, but
you think he should just go away, recover, and then maybe do like
he goes to the senior tour and then he plays some of the majors, and he rides a cart and go have fun.
Hey, wave hands, kiss babies, that kind of thing.
Diamond Auto Spa is on here. Austin Bauer from Diamond Auto Spa. Welcome into the show. Thanks for joining in. By the way, go to Diamond Auto Spa. It's an elite detailing company that offers only the best quality work and customer service. They specialize in detailing paint, corrections, or ceramic coating, paint protection film, vinyl wraps, and window tinting. We don't cut customers. We detail them. All his information is right there. Give him a shout, 346-319-5961, or go to diamondautospa.com. Also, you want to buy a house, want to get a car, want to get your credit fixed, my man will get you taken care of, man. This guy, unbelievable, has done it for me before. Johnny Van Lee, give him a shout at moneymanagement.com. That's moneymanagement.co.com. 713-823-0904. You want to get the loan for your house, get the loan for your car. He's got mine up in the 700s, and trust me, it wasn't near there prior to that. So
I need to hit him up too.
Yeah, hit up Johnny Lee, man. Awesome guy. Look, I want to thank everybody for joining in the show. Lauren Leo was off this weekend. She had an event to go to, of course, but she will be back next week for our draft special right here at Christian's Tailgate in the Heights. That will be Thursday night. We will do the show from about, 5:45 to 6:45-ish, right before the draft, about 10 minutes before the draft. It starts at 7 o'clock Central, 8 o'clock Eastern. So going to be a blast. Before we get out of here, Jason, Texans fan, what do they do at number 2? Do they trade it?
I say you trade.
Pick a quarterback or pick a defensive player?
I say you trade.
Woo, man.
Go with what's proven.
We're going to have a week to figure it out. It's going to be fun, guys. All right. Thanks for paying attention to us. We'll see you next week. I'm Jeff Michael. He's Jason. We'll see you.